All right, guys, and now on to our most important, our main event of this fight card, the Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera, bantamweight title bout. I have kind of gone back and forth on this. I am choosing Sean O'Malley. I think Sean, the Suga Show, obviously loved watching him. I when I came into watching UFC and MMA, it was after the Snoop Dogg moment, but I think everyone and their brother saw that Snoop Dogg moment. But being able to relive that and then also watch kind of every fight since then from Sean, I've been a huge fan of the Suga Show ever since he started. I love his style. I love that he markets himself. I know there's a lot of hate that comes with that, but his ability to market himself in this day and age has been really impactful and for his own career. But he's put bantamweight on a different level of superstardom. I think that he's made it interesting, and him being in this title, him being the title holder in this weight class is just better for the UFC in terms of like the different matchups they can make. You have your standard, striker versus grappler matchups like for Merab and obviously with Aljo. You have him versus Corey Sandhagen, which would be a fucking masterclass. Now, on the other side, I also love Chito Vera. I think that Chito has just that fucking, he's from Ecuador, but he's got that south of the border type style where it's like he is going out there to kill. He doesn't give a fuck, man. And like what I love about him is he kind of takes it out of the cage. He doesn't give a fuck about all the bells and whistles, all the social media, all the marketing. He just wants to fucking fight. And I think that is something you've seen in Chito Vera, never been finished, right? So we've seen Chito Vera have quite a few moments in his career where he's dominated, like this Sandhagen fight, he was dominated, but he's never been KO'd, never really been hurt on the feet either, to a point where you're like, he's so one-sided to the other side of whoever he was facing. I just think that in this fight, O'Malley has not only the fan base, O'Malley's also shown that he has been fine under pressure. It's like the pressure fuels him in a way. I think that the one thing that makes me feel in Chito's favor is that Sean's talked a lot of shit about being undefeated and obviously the first fight being a fluke. That I'm like a weird juju karma guy, I guess. I just think that kind of shit, putting it out there, there's this like weird opportunity that it could happen again where Chito hits him with the big toe and shuts the leg off. But like I said, I'm a big fan of both fighters. I think that what has shocked me about Sean is at this level where he's the upper echelon. He's already made millions. He's talked about quite a bit that he's made millions outside of fighting, which is awesome. Good for him. I root for him too. He's from Arizona. He's fighting out of Arizona, not from here, but he's fighting out of Arizona. And what really makes me cling to Sean is just not only the fact that like people have shit on his coach, right? They've shit on Tim Welch. I've been watching these two like for years now and like their podcasts and shit. And like what I love the most is Sean's been so loyal to Tim and Tim to Sean. Sean stuck with Tim even after some of these losses. Like when he lost to Marlon Vera, you could go on any fucking platform. Everyone's like, Sean, you need to work with higher level people, drop Tim. Like, I remember reading that shit. And I was always kind of shocked by that because, like, if you ever hear Sean talk about his relationship with Tim, he's like, Tim is the guy who's put me in a position to not only be in the UFC and succeed, but he's also helped him with his life. Just, getting him in the right routine personally and being their friends, right? So there's like accountability there that's outside of the coaching relationship. But I think that is also what makes me cling to Sean in this case. I just watched an interview with him. He now has like a Sprinter van. He doesn't drive anywhere. He has someone drive him so that he can be focused at all points of the day, getting that extra 15 to 20 minutes when they're driving to and from training. He is able to focus on watching tape and watching tape of himself, seeing the holes in his own game, watching the tape of his opponents. And I think that Tim Welch, what's really surprises me, what makes me cling to Tim Welch and Sean in this case, Tim has that same brain. He's very analytical. He's going to put in that extra mile. They both love this shit. And not to say that Marlon and Jason Perillo and his coach don't love this, because they do. And they're great. And I have so much respect for both fighters, especially, everything that Chito's been through. I just think that Sean is in a different level. And like when you add up his skill set and then also just how much he's investing back into his own career, making sure that he is tip-top shape for these fights, that really just makes me, it's hard to choose against Sean, knowing that he's leaving no stone unturned when it comes to his fight game and his overall ability to get that win when it comes time. So I'm going Sean O'Malley on this one. But like I said, this could go either way. I think that in this fight, Sean has the ability to potentially get a finish, right? He could knock out Chito Vera. Statistically, probably not going to happen because Chito has never been KO'd. But there's that opportunity there, right? Sean has the power to do so, and he has the speed as well. If this fight goes 5 rounds, I think the deeper into the fight you go, the better it is for Chito Vera. Chito's had several 5-round fights, whereas Sean really hasn't, right? He's been scheduled for 5-round fights, but he has not had to go 5 rounds. I think his actual first 5-round fight was with Aljo, if I'm not mistaken. Because of that, I think that there's a few ways you can look at it. I think if you feel like Chito can kind of withstand that heavy storm from Sean in the beginning, then obviously Chito is a good pick if you're thinking it's going to decision because of the cardio aspect. The one thing I'll say, though, is knowing how focused Sean is, I'm not worried about the cardio because I do think he has, like I said, left no stone unturned when it comes to his overall game, and I think that he can get the win. I'm looking forward to this fight as much as anybody else, and I think it could be a fucking banger. So those are my picks for UFC 299. Comment below what your picks are. If you have any agreements or disagreements, I'd love to hear. Give it a like if you like it, dislike if you dislike, I guess, and also just subscribe so you can stay in tune for the next videos that are going to be coming out. Thanks, guys.